All right, welcome back. We continue. The Steelers 4 days into this. No pads. They'll come out this week. We'll learn a little bit more. And then the following week, there's finally a game. Jeff Hathhorn, you are up there every single day. Mike Tomlin did not get an extension, most people thought. Not that it's a big deal. He seemed to think, so what? Does it mean anything to you, or just another wait for a year and see what happens?
Oh, you didn't hear? He walked off the field with Potabom today and just retired.
He retired.
Just decided I'm out.
Potabom.
Listen, I don't think that. I think it's a little different than it used to be. Some of the rules are a little different under Omar than they were under Kevin. And I don't think there's any harm in making him coach with still another year on his contract after this season. So I don't think it's a big deal. And I think Tomlin's being honest when he said, listen, like, I'm set. My family is set. He's making $12.5 million reportedly this year. Like, I really don't think it bothers him.
I mean, I also think the Steelers know how to create a news cycle. They're very kind to us in that regard, because I still think they're going to get an extension done on their usual timeline with him, because I think Art Rooney's comments about why he liked the offense, why they brought Matt Canada back, the way they finished the second half of the season last year, I think all that applies to Mike Tomlin. I think that's all in the owner's mind, a reflection on the head coach. The only way Mike Tomlin doesn't get a contract extension is if Mike Tomlin quietly goes to Art Rooney and says, hey, I don't want to put you behind the 8 ball here. Like, I'm really wondering how much longer I want to coach in this spot. It's going to be on his terms, not on Art Rooney's, unless this team were to endure 3-13 for 5 straight years.
I thought it was interesting what Tomlin did say, and Jeff, to your point about, where he's at in this stage of his life, where he's not really worried about a contract. And good, he shouldn't be worried about a contract. But at the same time, I don't see any problem whatsoever in making him coach, making him prove something. Now, do I think the Rooneys are going to up and remove him from his position? Absolutely not. But I have no problem with the optics of making Tomlin go through this season. And if you sort of step back and look, I mean, anywhere else, that coach is going to have to go into the season and prove himself. So why not make Mike Tomlin?
And it's an interesting point, because his youngest is off to college for the first time. So this is the first time he's had a major life change. They're going to be empty nesters, at least with kids in college. And maybe his mind is thinking, like, there's a lot of stuff I want to do. Maybe he doesn't want to do this.
This isn't pony rubbing off on me, but I do feel compelled to point out, as an individual coach, I think the only guy with a longer playoff win drought is Ron Rivera right now. Like, every other guy that's in there, or team, it's just a ridiculous drought by even NFL standards, by the way the league churns and turns over. So I don't think there's anything wrong with making him coach it out like everybody says. Like, I know it's all –
do that, sure.
In Pittsburgh, it's an article of faith. Why would you ever question that? I don't know. He's got $110 million or whatever it is invested on the defense. Have him coach it up and see how it looks this year.
When's the last time they won a playoff game?
2018?
2017, 2016
winning more
season.
Playoff games than that.
That's kind of what I was saying.
I'm not going to run them out the door,
terms,
but some expectations.
That's what I mean. Like, you can go through, and there are very few teams or coaches in the same place who haven't already been fired who have a similarly long drought. I think it's just Rivera.
I got a quick amount of time left here. I want to ask you about Connor Orr. Sports Illustrated, Jeff, he came out this week. And again, this is food for thought, fodder, clickbait, whatever you want to call it. Said there are 12 teams that can make a Super Bowl run. 3 of the 4 AFC North teams. The only one left out was Pittsburgh. He even had Cleveland. Do you think it's, what do you think it is? Disrespectful? It's realistic? What do you think?
I think 2 of the 3 of those teams could make a playoff run, depending on what Baltimore gets from their passing game and what this offense is going to look like, because they've changed it greatly. The fact that they're betting on Deshaun Watson because he's looking good at camp, hey, Sports Illustrated, put your money on the Browns.
I think it's somebody in July trying to put something out there that people talk about personally.
I mean,
how the heck do you know all the things that are going to transpire in an NFL season?
All the good quarterbacks in the AFC, and most of the teams on that list are in the AFC, and the Steelers were in the NFC. I think you'd see a totally different situation.
Yeah.
2 things to point out here. One, he's probably going to be right, chances are. The whole column concede is 12 teams that could actually win it. Probably one of those 12 will win it. And I'll just say thank you to Connor Orr. He created something in July that gave people things to talk about, especially on a Friday when I got to cruise mentally into the weekend at about 2:45 on the air.
When we come back, we're going to talk more Steelers. We're going to delve into Broderick Jones. Got some first-team reps. What does that mean, and how explosive can this offense be? How explosive will they want it to be? And let Kenny Pickett do his thing. We'll talk about it next.